This was the scene yesterday as Conservative MP Anna Soubry was confronted outside the Commons by hardline Brexit supporters hurling abuse.
Anna, you're a fascist! Anna, fascist!
And they accused her of lying.
Anna, why do you call us EDL without any proof? We're not EDL, Anna.
Two police.
Anna, you're full of lies. Yes, Anna, you're a fascist. Anna, you're full of lies.
For a few seconds, they even blocked her from entering Parliament.
Anna, thank you. You never answered.
That footage was shot by this Remain campaigner.
But it crosses a line when you are physically impeding somebody entering the UK Parliament, a sitting politician, to have a group of men going right up to her face, shouting horrendous abuse at her, intentionally intimidating her physically. It just crosses a line.
Come on! Also yesterday, the same group confronted the left-wing writer Owen Jones.
Why do you write fake news? Why do I wait? Why do you write? Why do you write? Why are you misleading articles? Listen, you are a horrible little liar. Horrible little liar. So how many people attended the Brexit
it's brutal out here.
How many?
Today, the police said they were stepping up their presence around Westminster and reviewing whether any crimes were committed yesterday.
Isn't the real problem that you're frightened of getting involved in politics? And if these were football supporters or other people, that would be, you would have taken action by now, but you don't want to be seen to be cracking down on one side in this debate.
No, of course. The police do not play a role in politics, and it's very important that we don't.
So you've gone softly on this?
No, not at all. As I say, I do expect a robust policing response to be taken when we witness criminal activity, but we do need to make those assessments based on the information available to us and the evidence available to us to ensure that we are confident that criminal activity has taken place.
The Commons Speaker said he'd written to the Met to add to the complaints from other MPs.
It's a type of fascism. And let's be quite clear about that. It is a type of fascism, and women and ethnic minority citizens in particular are being targeted.
So what is the law? This Lib Dem peer was once a police commander on the streets.
Section 4A of the Public Order Act says if you intend to cause somebody harassment, alarm or distress, even if you behave in a disorderly way, then you commit an offence. And it doesn't matter if the person that you're aiming it at isn't alarmed or distressed. It's if anybody else was alarmed or distressed.
Perhaps the most prominent leader of the self-styled UK Yellow Vests is James Goddard, who posts film of their events online. This angry confrontation with the police was before Christmas.
And we're being bothered by the Prevent team on Christmas Eve.
And Goddard says that this was a visit last month by Leicestershire Police pursuing the government's Prevent programme against terrorism and extremism. Goddard didn't seem to be around Westminster today, but friends were out heckling cabinet ministers.
Liars! Liars! All of you are liars!
This friend wouldn't give her name.
James Goddard has not got a group, right? I know him. Wonderful, wonderful man who speaks the truth.
Maybe we do a campaign.
Britain has seen a more abusive, aggressive politics for several years now. Here was Labour's Jim Murphy facing nationalists in the 2014 Scotland referendum. And here, Sir Bob Geldof making obscene gestures to Brexiteers in the EU referendum. Tonight, Facebook announced they'd closed down James Goddard's Facebook pages. And PayPal told us they've closed down his fundraising page. But the police haven't yet announced if they think Goddard committed any crimes.
Well, now, here at Westminster, let's go back to the issue of politicians being shouted at outside Parliament. Hardline, pro-Brexit protesters have targeted MPs like Anna Soubry, prompting criticism of the police for failing to protect them. Jeremy Corbyn supporting commentator Owen Jones, who's also been barracked. Both of them join us now.
Well, I think we do have to see it for what it is. This is a small group of people who, in my opinion, were allowed by the police, the Metropolitan Police, to roam around outside Parliament. It began in December, Kay Burley has suffered awful sexist chanting, abusive obscenities. Faisal Islam was subjected to racist abuse. And then Laura Koonsberg was chased down the street and she was abused and foul language used against her.
Well, who's doing this? Who's doing this?
Well, it's this very small group of people. They are, in my opinion, they are extreme right-wingers.
Men?
Yes, though I'm told that a woman was discovered amongst them at an incident either yesterday or this morning shouting at members of the, I think it was this morning, shouting at members of the cabinet. But it is largely men. Some of them are quite large. They are all extremely unpleasant, and they, I think, do target women. Certainly, Kay Burley gets targeted for, I think, no other reason than she's a woman. Same with Laura. I think to some extent myself, and the only other thing I can say about them is that they clearly don't like people of colour, because I've seen the Twitter of one of the people that then abused me, racially abusing a police officer yesterday, and for a reason which I do not understand, he was not arrested as he clearly should have been. Remember, I'm an old criminal barrister, so I do know the law on
Well,
this.
let me pause you there for a moment so I can bring in Owen Jones, who works for The Guardian, among other outlets. And you've been abused too. Under what circumstances?
So yesterday, firstly, by the way, solidarity with Anna. We strongly disagree, but again, her treatment was despicable. So I've been actually twice the same group before Christmas and yesterday as well. What we're talking about are fascists. It's the far right. And this was the same group who attacked a left-wing bookshop, Bookmarks, a few months ago. And I just think what's important is we put this in the context of a rising far right in this country. Look, Joe Cox, a Labour MP, was murdered 2.5 years ago by fascists. Another Labour MP, Rosie Cooper, was killed by a fascist. Another far-right terrorist, Darren Osborne, ploughed his car, do you remember, into worshippers, Muslim worshippers. He said he came to London to kill Jeremy Corbyn and Sadiq Khan as a bonus because they were terrorist sympathisers.
But are you saying that these people who've been swirling around here, who are completely absent tonight, I don't know how the police have done it, but they've got rid of them, are an organised faction?
They are an organised faction. I mean, journalists have been trying to work out exactly who they are. They're pro-Tommy Robinson supporters. They wear Trump hats and they run around shouting mindless abuse. But we do have to just quickly, it's very important we put it in its context. Look, we have a media in this country which on the front pages has things like enemies of the people, traitors, crush the saboteurs. And I'd note some of the things they were yelling at me, traitor and terrorist supporter, frankly, you could see on the front pages of various newspapers, the right-wing media in this country has to take responsibility for legitimising this rhetoric.